All right, our YouTube is back. Oops. Okay, we can go ahead and get started. Sorry for the delay. This computer is just not having it for whatever reason, but um, so thanks everybody for coming out to the Declassified School Survival Guide. Hopefully, will help you guys survive school, and also give you like a preview of what's to come in the aerospace curriculum. So. Highlights for the upcoming schedule are the DBF kickoff meeting, which is next week. Tomorrow, next day. If you're not in like the DBF Slack channel and are interested in participating, you should join that. If you have any questions, ask Josh. He's the guy for that. And next week we have the first company speaker coming. It's going to be Navair. Eric Sanchez is coming. I'm not sure if many of you have met him, but he's an NC State alumni and an AIAA alumni too. So that'll be pretty good, and we look forward to having them. Not sure who else is coming with them, but so yeah, tonight, oops. Yeah, oh, first things first, the attendance. If you want to get credit for being here, chance at getting an attendance award, scan the QR code. We also, it should be linked there. It's up there. I know it's faint, but we tried. Looks like everybody got it. Okay, we'll move on. It's also up there, so. What we're doing tonight is going through the class guide, which is the main reason most of you guys are here, answer questions, and then go toward the wind tunnel. That part's optional, but I don't know. I think you should stay. I think it's worth it. The wind tunnel is pretty cool. I guess some do's and don'ts about our Slack. Just an overview of what it's for. It's mainly for talking about AIAA, aerospace news, and yeah, you can join on the link tree, and just not for unprofessional stuff. It's pretty obvious, but we've had this in here. So if you don't know this guy, which you probably don't because he's not teaching MAE 250 anymore, he's Dr. Edwards. He's our faculty advisor, and he gave us some advice to share to you guys. And the main one is to not just study aerospace engineering, go find something else that's interesting to you. For example, when he was here, he also got a history minor, so it doesn't even have to be in like STEM. If it interests you, it's worth learning probably. And a recurring theme throughout tonight, you'll probably hear, we'll be talking about like actually learning the material instead of just memorizing. That'll get you a long way, and get involved. If you're already here, you're getting involved. So
good job.
Yeah, kind of preaching to the choir there, I guess, but that's what Dr. Edwards has to say. So how we're going to participate, I know you guys are all comfortable in your seats now, but actually going to get up and move. So I guess quick show of hands, who's a freshman here? Okay, who's a sophomore here? Oh wow, lots of sophomores. Good, good. Juniors, one junior, 2, 3-ish, 2.5. Okay, anyways, how we're gonna participate, I guess this is kind of mirrored, but no, it's not mirrored. So everybody's gonna start on that side of the room. Those are like, this side of the room is if you are yet to take the course. The middle is going to be if you're in the course, it's the hot seat. So I don't know, better watch out. And then the left side is if you've already completed the course. And basically how this is going to work is if you're on that side, I guess you just like ask questions about what to look forward to. If you're in the middle, you get to know your classmates and ask questions to the people that have taken the class. And if you've taken the class, you can discuss advice to give to the people who are taking the class. So yeah, let's get started.
everyone on that side.
Yeah. I think Ryan, I think you're up first with the advice.
Just get through it. Oh,
Okay, guys. So I guess we'll walk first and then
Yeah.
we'll get into it. So
Yeah,
if
we
you've
don't
already taken chemistry 101,
Yeah.
you can go across. You're currently in it.
center of the
If
stage.
you think you might want to take it. What was that? Yeah, give credit for the course.
Yeah.
I technically have credit so.
Okay, well, I think it might be best if you have any questions.
Yeah.
You have a nice panel of people you can ask here.
The question is, how many of y'all actually took it then? Like here at NC State, how many? Oh, okay, we have a good number. Okay.
Who's your professor?
Thing, like unit wise and
Acid base. Hmm?
Learning how to study. I think like it's not a. I think that class taught me how to study.
Wait, so what's your professor?
I have Petrovich, I have a test tomorrow.
Oh, good
So
luck.
my first test.
So you need to ask some
I've been
questions.
studying.
Okay.
I had him. He's great. Yeah. Reza. Yeah.
Yes, I know him. I thought it was Galati.
I thought so too.
Okay, I had Galati.
Yeah. Same.
Has anyone
So
had
you
Petrovich?
Galati, right? Yeah.
How was you?
It was all like that.
No.
Let me take pictures of the slides.
Do you get an equation sheet for that class? Do you get an equation sheet for the test?
Yes.
Yeah,
We have
actually
Ryan
know
Burger.
the equations on it. That'll probably be one of the biggest things that'll help you. Because if you don't understand the equations on there and how to use them, then you'll use them incorrectly and then it'll hurt more than the time it'll take just to learn them, so.
Would be a good example of the difference between like memorizing all this stuff, because I think you could probably get by doing that versus actually learning the material. Being able to apply it.
Probably.
Like it says up there, his stuff comes back up.
Yeah.
We, us seniors are in proposal right now. We just started talking about chemistry again. So that hurt a little bit.
what part should we?
Combustion, because
Basically.
balancing equations.
Chemical
'cause-
reactions. Is
yeah.
basically the gist of it. If you understand chemical reactions,
Yeah.
it's fine. That's kind of, you don't really see that too much in the reaction part in thermo or aero too, right?
Probably doesn't say
No,
that.
yeah, not really. The energy, I remember like being super confused about like entropy in
Yep.
Chem 101 but actually learned it in Aero 2. So I guess it would be cool if you learned it, but I don't know, you'll get taught again. Okay. Hopefully that answered all your questions.
I was just gonna real quick say, one
Yeah.
example would be like periodic trends. I think that's like something that everyone just kind of memorizes, but actually just knowing why, a trend, like why are the things in the top right more electronegative and why things in the bottom left aren't, versus just memorizing that they are. I think that's one of my favorite things. Because then when it comes up, you're able to bring it up, and talk about why. Versus just kind of do it.
Right.
Okay, we'll go into these. I think
All the
all
math
are
classes.
there,
Yeah.
It's a DPQ.
All right. Anybody in it?
So if you've taken all of them, then you can go against the wall. If you
Yeah.
did any of them.
In its center, haven't taken it or not registered for it. This side.
Yeah, which I'm guessing everybody. Yeah.
Well, this is, oh, jeez. Yeah, I forgot there's 4 classes on here.
Cool. So my biggest advice for if you are in any of these classes is real simple. It's just do the homework problems. I think that examples and getting it under your fingernails is one of the best ways to actually figure out what you don't know. And figuring out what you don't know is what's going to get you ahead. One of my physics teacher's favorite quotes he keeps saying is like, the problem is a lot of times students just don't know what they don't know, and then they don't really study, and then they just like keep kind of falling further and further behind. Then I would also say, if you have to choose a class to fall behind in, definitely don't pick math. I mean, I'm not out here like, this is the class I'm gonna fall behind in. But if there's a priority there, I would definitely prioritize math, just because usually it's one of those classes where the material consistently builds upon it. I mean, a great example is these 4 courses, like as far as the progression of material. So I would definitely put that kind of on your list of like, do this first. Worry about maybe some other stuff. You
Also,
guys have any? or-
I was just gonna add Calc 3 and DiffyQ are like the ones that are most applicable to future aerospace classes.
So
Um,
you feel like notes, don't.
Yeah.
Tuck them away so you can get them out, 'cause I have to go home this week to get my differential equations. So make sure you don't like lose track of them.
Yeah,
I know I kind of lived in office hours for my calculus class, like I would go to that TA, and I'm sure she made anybody in the semester, but I have so many questions on my homework. So I would definitely go and ask for help if you need it. And then you end up kind of knowing what's going on a lot better.
Absolutely, and I personally don't like approaching professors about questions, because I'm like, oh, this is gonna be something silly, so I just harass the TAs instead. Because they're like a peer, so who cares, just drop it on them, give them all this stuff to do, email them constantly, because if they don't like you, they can't change you. So, it's not a problem.
last thing on the math classes, do you guys like know each other from your classes? Are you, who's in Calc 1? Anybody else in, sorry, no study buddies. That's what the Slack is for. Calc 2. Nobody in Calc 2. Calc 3. Who do you guys have? Do you guys know each other? Oh, sweet. Okay.
I hate her.
Anybody else?
I figured
Well, you guys are, if you need help.
I have the presentation today.
Oh yeah, don't skip recitation these classes. You'll regret it. That's probably the most useful part of all of
People skip though.
it. Huh?
It's
Oh,
on my
yeah.
calendar, it's on my calendar. I clicked it.
Yeah, there you
Smart.
go.
That's the right way to do it.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna sleep or do something else, that's fine, but go there, you're paying for it, do it there at least.
Yeah,
Because they'll pull exam questions from recitation,
right.
and then they'll smack you in the face with them when you don't remember.
All right, last one, DiffyQ. I guess the rest of you guys are all in DiffyQ. Do you guys know each other? Know your? Who do you guys have?
Professor Hogan.
There you go. Match made in heaven. All right, last, I guess second to last. Anybody in physics 2? Second to last of the sort of freshman, sophomore, non-MAE classes. Anybody in
You've
physics?
done it, you're gonna take it later.
Yeah. In this, are you guys taking it in the spring?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not taking Chem 101.
Oh, perfect, yeah,
so-
Right.
so-
That's,
so-
yeah.
Probably
Yeah. Yeah, that one should be like highlighted in a different font.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Let's
Ryan.
start with the
Yeah.
panel here. You guys have any tips before we get to kind of questions?
I'd say like the biggest thing is like going into those tests, because it's like one of those classes where like the tests like really like make or break your grade. Because I feel like before you kind of have a lot of balance with homework and other things, but I just say go into a test like confident, like make sure you like didn't start studying at like 11 p.m. the night before. Because they actually do like go kind of crazy in that class.
I like read, that was the first like class that I actually read the textbook for, and it was like, really helpful for me. I don't know if like other people might not be as helpful, but I would like read the textbook and then make my like, formula sheet from the textbook, and it was really helpful because that way you just like review stuff while also doing that one.
Khan Academy is also very helpful.
Yeah, Khan Academy, second to that.
The test format is really unhelpful to be prepared for that, especially in physics 205. Unless it was back to normal, because during COVID, we could only see one question at a time.
Ugh.
You can see the question.
I'm hoping they'll pass that now.
Fingers crossed.
They should.
Yeah, but like actually, I really like Matthew and Brady's tips there. One thing that really worked for me is I would go through all my notes and make like an even more consolidated kind of study guide. And as I started narrowing it, I kind of fell into those topics that all those test questions were about. So that was kind of a good way. But if they give you any practice exams at all, you better do them 100%.
Yeah,
Like, even if you don't, although you should, but like, if you don't read the textbook, you don't take notes, anything, if you're feeling good on those practice exams, it's a great indicator of how you're doing.
one hack with practice exams, and this is applicable to chemistry too, is if you have friends who have like another professor, get their practice exam, because like sometimes it's the same content. Hopefully it is, but I don't know, it's just another, they share the same questions. They have the same question bank, so
And I know for chemistry, they kind of break it up a little bit, but physics, like, they usually have everyone in like
Yeah.
large testing groups, the same test. usually.
Probably.
Do they do that?
Yeah, the in-person tests are weird. Get there early for the test if they're in person.
yeah, you
Because
want good seat.
they have a lot of rules to them because they don't want people to cheat because they will try. So get there early and yeah, be
Yeah.
prepared for a paper test and flip a lot of papers. If they're doing that this year, which they should.
Who do you guys have for physics?
Hey.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Clark?
Any Webster?
Like Zodiac?
Yeah, good old Zodiac.
I have Zodiac.
Yeah, I know you do.
Does anybody have Lewis?
I have.
I don't
Oh,
know.
Zach, character building.
Zachary?
Wow, I'm glad they've changed the.
That's on.
Which one of you guys are taking 205? You all taking 205, all taking 208?
208,
208.
yeah.
No one has Zodiac? What? I thought you
Did
taught
she still
every
have that in the
section.
department?
I mean, I guess not.
Oh, it's not on here, but like 208 is not really applicable to much. Is it applicable to controls, lab, controls?
Controls lab, maybe.
I'm asking, oh,
Oh, my bad.
you're good.
It's very
A
applicable
little
to
bit.
life.
Not much. Yeah, it's just get through it, And okay,
Okay.
on to GC 120. In it now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, that's easy.
Are you guys taking it in spring?
I might be depending on how my credits.
It's a good spring
I'm like.
freshman one.
Looking at my requirements, I'm like already exceeding 19 credits.
Okay, maybe don't take it in. Don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Looking online, if you're trying to make it in person.
All right, full disclosure, I love GC. I ended up adding a GC minor, so you can do that if you like it. But it's really cool because it kind of gets you to think in 3D. So if you're not used to doing that, it might be kind of weird, but like kind of takes you back to being a toddler and playing with building blocks and kind of looking at everything. It's also helpful, like design wise, you can be like, oh, okay, I have this idea. I want like my airfoil to look like this. You can go in and design it, put like the geometric constraints and everything in it that way. And it's even nice, like we did a vibrations project where you had to have like you make a big video. I'm gonna talk about it in a minute. It's gonna be great. But we ended up making a model of our system, I guess, in SolidWorks first, just so we could visualize everything. And so it's really helpful for that. Kind of waste some time that way, but it's fun. I guess depending on who you ask, it's fun. There's also really good videos on like if you get stuck somewhere, because you can get stuck and it will be like hours past and you realize you still cannot get this drawing to be like fully defined. There are videos and they will tell you exactly what you're doing wrong and it saves so much time. So definitely use those. And yeah, who do you guys have for that?
Watch it.
Okay, that's good.
If you want to see some seniors cry over SolidWorks, come to DVF.
What are the tests like?
Yeah, they're easy. There's a
nothing-
drawing
there's-
part on, for me at least, there was a drawing part on one of them.
So there's some drawing parts
Okay, yeah.
and then like Quizlet.
Yes, yeah,
Quizlet's for this entire class. So.
yeah,
Download it up.
yeah, it's nice.
Do you guys have anything else?
I would say like if you're ever able to make something more fun in this class, like go for it, like if you're able to design something you want to design,
Yeah.
or you want to draw, like definitely do it, because this is one of the few classes that I actually liked doing, and in terms of the assignments and stuff. So, and I don't know, I feel like it's probably the most difficult class I've
I think,
Make this for animal life, but-
yeah, this was a couple years ago, I think. So yeah, we'll.
You guys gonna download it on your computer easy?
One last thing that's missing off this slide is that like typically in industry, SolidWorks isn't exactly what they use. But like if somebody's looking at your resume and they see CAD on it, they'll still like that. But what you really need to be able to do is like show how you've applied it. So like talking about whatever final project you do in this class is definitely one way to do that. Also joining special projects in DBF and working on those CAD stuff will be another way.
I was gonna say, I know several people who did not go to college, just out of high school, they got six-figure paying jobs, just being really, really good at it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's how you
really good.
apply it. Yeah,
Take the certification exam.
true.
That looks pretty honest.
Well, yeah, I can talk about 250, so.
Where are the sophomores at?
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
I know this is like really bad for me, but I'm not at one.
Oh, no, not bad at all. Yeah. A lot of these have parallels in mechanical engineering. So they'll be,
Dynamics, structural mechanics, vibrations. we'll get
they'll
all
be
of those.
similar, but different.
So.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, so is Dr. Berg still teaching?
Yes.
He is literally the coolest guy ever, so anytime you can cherish in that class, it's awesome, because the projects they're not too bad, they're kind of elementary, as they kind of said, they just kind of want to introduce you to the concepts, but you can take them really far, and that's something that I kind of like to do, is like kind of extend them further. So we would do all these, I was in MATLAB as well, so I like could like write up some MATLAB codes to show and everything, and it's just a really fun class. The lectures can get a little bit boring at times, so like, and there's no tests, so like, if there's a class that you want to kind of do other work for, I'm not gonna say do it for this class, but it's an option. And I mean, it's just a really fun class overall, and the projects are really fun, especially the ones at the end. But it gets a little bit complicated when you have to do the kind of math with the bottle rocket project. But just asking questions, no one understood it at first, and he like kind of just let us know how to do it, and it was really simple from there. So he's really open to asking questions, even if like in class. So that's pretty much all I have to say about it. It's a really fun class, short, and yeah. You guys have any questions about anything with that class?
I think the gummy worm homework or
That
project,
was-
whatever, that was the best. Yeah.
Definitely buy extra. gum.
Yeah, you'll be hungry by the end. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Any questions?
A
Oh,
little
yeah, sorry.
math intensive, but
Nothing too crazy. All right, 251.
cool, yeah,
Oh,
so
yes.
this class was my favorite class so far at NC State, ADP. So Dr. G is also amazing. Taking both these classes in the same semester is awesome, just because you get kind of a lesser version in 250, but this is where you kind of have the actual math, and you go into the actual theory of aircraft. This is kind of the class that solidified me when I was like, wow, I actually really do like aerospace, and I want to study this for more. So just his drawings he does are amazing. Everything he does is amazing in that class. And you go over, if you're more rocket oriented, you can do stuff like the Hohmann transfers and the orbital mechanics unit, which is really cool. And everything about airplanes, he goes super in detail, everything. And it's not calculus based, so everything's algebraic. So the math is easier than in Aero 1, and it's just overall a really fun course. But the biggest thing that I found is just he posted all of his notes. He would like write them off and post them, and just download them at the end of the semester. Just put them all in your Google Drive, because there'll be times when you're thinking about something, you can't remember something, you just go in and look at his notes, and it's just so simple to download them. That's the first thing I want to say. And then the second one is just start on the projects and assignments early. I kind of messed up at the end of the year where we had this giant project that I waited till the last minute, and I'd like to stay up super late, but just get started earlier on these projects, because they are kind of long towards the end. They're fun projects and you'll enjoy doing them, but they do get a little intensive at times. But yeah, this class like your big introduction, like there's introduction to aerospace, this is your actual like getting you into aerospace, overall career class.
Anybody have any questions about 251? You guys enjoying it so far? That's good. Yeah, it'd be pretty surprising if you weren't.
And then, yeah, statics.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh.
Yeah, so like I said before, 251 solidified my love for MAE, and then this class made me question my love for MAE just because I hadn't done these lines before. This is like your first, what I thought of as like your first introduction to thinking like an engineer and doing problems that an engineer would do. So everything is just drilled into you really hard, so you remember like the process. So once you're like done with this course, you'll remember all the material, but you should think about like the process of how you solve the problems that that's gonna be applicable to every single course that you take. Things I wanted to kind of point out: homework before class quiz, after class quiz, all that stuff piles on extremely fast if you're not doing them or not putting your effort towards them. So anytime that you have extra time, go ahead and start that, because getting behind, it's almost impossible to try and dig yourself out. Next one is, let's see, get ahead, and that's pretty much everything. Just make sure that you take a bunch of notes on the videos, because that's one thing I didn't do, and it made me study a bunch for the test. And yeah, her Moodle is awesome, so you guys will appreciate that. And that's probably one of the things you'll appreciate at the end is how well her Moodle is laid out, because it's with the bolts that light up and everything. It's just really nice to see everything. But overall, this is your introduction to thinking like an engineer. So enjoy it while it lasts, I guess.
Are you guys in the classroom with the whiteboards and 3 people with a whiteboard?
Nice, yeah.
So the only thing I'd say is she will terrify you. and
Yeah,
she'll
I didn't
make
have
you
her in
feel
person,
good.
and I'm so thankful for that.
She is one of the best teachers you will ever have.
Yeah.
Like undoubtedly, you will learn what she's teaching you.
But she's also probably not the nicest person you'll meet, which I'm sure you guys have figured that out. But she means it all to, like, she has your best interest in mind, even if.
I'm like a study group. Oh, sorry. I'm like a study group.
Brian.
The biggest thing is I didn't have anyone that I
Brian.
I just transferred to NC State. It's like my first semester. So I didn't know anyone in
Is
the
it
class
Kyle?
really. And I got a study
Is it-
group like 2/3 of the way
it
through, and it
Kyle?
made it so much easier. And I was actually like on the topic. So just find a study group, and she posted practice problems that she'll give you the answers. Of kind of,
Brian.
just go through that, and it's really nice to get experience for the test.
Yes, Ian, you have, yes, pro tip for statics. Let's hear it. You can,
Can you hear me?
yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so if anybody is having trouble finding a good professor, I know with the mechanical department, it should work for aerospace also, you'll have to check. But if MAE 206 doesn't have the professor you're looking for, they do have the civil department has a statics class that can be swapped. I think it's CE 214. And I think that qualifies for the curriculum. So just if you're shopping around for good professors, check that out.
Yeah, that's for you guys. I think you can do it over the summer too and stuff. I think for the CE one, they might go a little bit more into the materials side of it, which is like the 371, but it's not that different, and different professor. If you are scared of what you're hearing about Dr. Howard, you might want to consider it. But if you really want to learn statics too, like we said, Dr. Howard's a great professor. Yeah. Okay. You guys have any questions about statics? Okay. Well,
Don't let it intimidate you. That's the last thing I'll say.
yeah,
I got a C+
I
in
agree.
physics 1, and I got an A- in this class, so you could do it.
yeah,
You're gonna feel so smart. when it's over.
you will.
You're gonna feel so
Once you
smart.
like turn in your final, it's just the biggest relief you've ever had. Like never leave it out, but you
Yeah.
like know the stuff really well.
All right. Anybody in dynamics? It's sort of a spring class, but also people's schedules. Yeah. Sweet.
Nice.
Just one. Okay. Who do you have? Who's seen?
It's a new professor. His name is Dr. Ware.
Huh.
He's okay.
Okay.
Like, he'll be like trying to put something up on the screen and it's not going on. You're like, this rookie hazing won't stop. It's like, it's just shit. Put it up there, bro. But it's an okay class. It's just like statics.
Yeah,
More calculus, really. I'd
right.
say.
Yeah,
So far, so good. The homeworks take a while.
yeah, that's good. The homeworks are definitely like the best, probably exam prep
Just like the
thing.
tests and stuff.
Yeah.
We have them next.
Yeah, it's like for me, it was maybe one of the first classes where actually understanding, like trying to get some type of physical understanding for the formulas and stuff and learning that part as opposed to memorizing them was quite helpful. But,
Yeah, so far though, so good. We'll see though when we take the test.
So kind of like you hinted at, this is good for you guys too. So you take statics and then you have sort of two ways of doing statics. You have vectors in the beginning, sort of projectile motion, that type of thing. And then the back half of statics, you'll have structural mechanics type stuff. You take statics, which is the intro, then dynamics builds on statics. And then structural mechanics will build on that part of statics.
yeah,
So,
especially the vectors.
yeah,
stuff.
the vectors are,
So you know all the math. and
Yeah.
stuff like
Remember that statics thing, like just get good at doing your free body diagrams.
that.
Pretty
In
much.
Every
solids-
single,
in solids and in this class,
Yeah.
they go, it's even crazier.
I forgot to mention that. I think I got like a 30 in my first time homework because I didn't do a free body diagram. Know how to do your free body diagrams, start them off right, and great habits to get into it.
any questions about that?
No, I mean, I was really not sure how to study, but you guys were just saying like, do your homework. Like,
Yeah.
today I was in Hunt and I was looking over like my dynamics homework. I was like, hopefully it's right.
Yeah, like, I mean, because one thing that you can get into when you do the homework again is like memorizing the solution or whatever, but like actually trying to ask yourself like why each,
Like, why do I use this equation?
yeah, that's what you really,
I
like,
think the thing to sort of summarize the past few classes, mainly this one though, is you're not necessarily learning the material, you're learning how to think
Right.
like an
Right.
engineer. So understanding the process is more beneficial than learning and memorizing what it's. So,
are you also in
I
solids?
also am.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, solids is probably,
I think this is harder than dynamics.
yeah, it is. And unfortunately, it's starting to get a little bit closer to like the aerospace structures classes. So, yeah, it's important, but she spends in structures.
Is it Peters?
Yeah, she spends like the first half, at least for us, she spent the first half of the semester basically reviewing all you learned here. So,
Oh, Peters for aerospace structures.
Yeah.
I thought you meant this.
no,
Yeah,
but
I do have a new professor for this class too, but she seems okay so far.
who is it?
I think Dr. Hugh, maybe.
I don't know.
I have to dig
That
into
sounds-
that name. But it's been okay so far. It's definitely very, the homework takes so long for me that I could sit at a problem and just, it's like 10 problems, I'll be sitting on one for like 45
Mhm.
minutes. And then it's like, oh, I can't do it. Let me go consult the internet. Like,
Yeah,
try and figure it out.
right.
But
I would say, I don't want to interrupt you, but if you have like a big eraser. just kind of
Yeah.
Move it, just so you
Yes.
can kind of visualize everything, because sometimes when we see some of these diagrams, it doesn't make sense. But if you
I
can kind of
agree.
do that.
That's
that would
huge.
help me.
Yeah, especially when it gets to the combined loading at the very end, get an eraser or something to bend for that, because it'll do that. But yeah, any,
no, I mean, I think it's just kind of like, I feel once you got past like statics, you kind of know like how hard you have to
Yeah,
work. And so, like,
that's
I kind of have
fair,
an idea
yeah.
now. But
Any
it's definitely
questions?
like very difficult throughout.
last thing, you don't want to get too like lost in here's a class where they derive a lot of equations and then it really only boils down to a few concepts. So don't get lost in all them. But
Any questions on this side of the room? Or just
you
take it all
guys looking forward to it?
Which year do you take this in?
in? Sophomore, spring typically. is how it
Typically, yeah.
works.
So, yeah. All right. Thermo, where are the juniors at? This one looking-
Ooh.
Who do you have?
I have Dr. Babu. I don't know. I think he's like a graduate student.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Why did he get doctor graduates?
Or like
Is he like a
new
post-
grad, I don't know.
Is he like a postdoc?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Um,
pretty cool. I mean,
That's every
That is,
thermal.
yeah.
That's every thermal.
Yeah, when you want to watch them on like 1.5 speed.
We just, me and my friend he like records his lectures, so we like just don't go and don't.
Yeah, fair enough. Thermo definitely comes back next semester for Aero too. But also I feel like it was kind of of a relief after like getting through sophomore year and then starting to get into like the 300 level courses to go back and take Thermo was
Yeah,
kind of nice.
yeah, I have this after vibration, so I'm like
Yeah,
dead, and then I come in, I'm like, oh, this is cool. But
yeah,
my like internship was all like on like gas compression.
Yeah.
It was like they would throw out like entropy and enthalpy just all day. I have no idea what you're talking about. And then like going into that, I'm starting to understand what's
That's
going
nice,
on, so good to know.
yeah,
Entropy and enthalpy from physics 1 comes back in this, so.
yeah.
You'll see interpolation throughout your undergraduate experience. You will
Especially in
memorize how to do
251,
it.
write down that formula.
You'll
In-
learn how to do it in thermo, but
Yeah.
there's no doubt.
Okay. First junior level. We have a comment from Ian. Yeah, thermo is a very fundamental and useful class. Yeah,
Who's the mechanical? You will have to take 2 thermos, so.
yeah. And then you'll also have a version of this. It's literally the same class, but different professor.
Also, thermo 2 is easier than thermo 1. from what I've heard. So if you get through thermo 1, you're fine.
And isn't there two solid mechanics?
I think so, yeah.
There is,
I
yeah.
don't know the actual course though.
Yeah, they're like, it's the same stuff. And this is something that scared me away from like co-oping or missing a semester, but if you're concerned about that with like the rigid aerospace curriculum, don't be, because you just take the mechanical equivalent and it's fine. So
Do that.
yeah, you like literally, yeah. I was they tell us you can't, and then yeah. We'll go through these sort of quickly so we can go to the wind tunnel tour, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, so dynamics and control, you will know it as vibrations. It's basically just differential equations on steroids.
As I'm sure you guys.
Is it Silverberg still?
Yeah.
So the one thing that helped me the most is take the time, because he gives you all his notes, right? Take the time and actually write out his notes in just a notebook, because the steps he goes through in his equations, he'll skip like 3 steps of just
Yeah.
basic algebra. And if you don't catch that, you'll be lost and then you don't know what the process was. So then when you get to the homework, you have to know it.
Yeah, I guess my only question was like, what was your like flow for like just this course in general? Because I'm still trying to figure that out. Like I would try and read the notes, things
Yeah.
like before class and come to class and not know what's going on, but after class, not know, like what was your guys like weekly flow?
It kind of
study
gets,
or-
it's weird when he's going through like the derivation heavy part, which is I'm assuming what you're in now, and then it gets way more,
Relax.
yeah, it comes back down to earth. So
Yeah.
sort of after that, and then
For the flow though, this might be different for Brian. What helped me was, like I said, write the notes out before class, if you can, if you have them. And then when you go to class, like just listen and follow what he's doing, or do it the opposite way. Go to class, then directly after, if you have time, that same day, do it so it's still fresh. Start the homeworks early. That's for every single class. Do not wait till the 2 days before, because you'll get stuck.
especially the coding.
The math lab,
Yeah.
The TAs are quite helpful and your friends are quite helpful.
I'd say definitely work on this homework with friends.
Yeah.
especially,
Yeah, that's what I
like,
did
like,
first. I wouldn't have figured it out first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even with like the coding part, just having somebody else look at your stuff and make sure you aren't missing a random signal somewhere. Very helpful.
this code is weird.
It's so now, he's like making it so universal.
On the bright side though, once you get through the first homework or 2, then you only end up having to do like 100 lines of code at the
Yeah.
most,
Yeah.
because you're just copying and pasting
You
different
are.
things from other
Yeah.
stuff.
And save it for the project. Like, yeah, the project, you can ask us about the project, like once he assigns it, we'll be happy to, yeah, but any other questions on
I
vibration?
guess it's quick. Well, like I've heard the test is on like just solving different equations.
Yeah, and it's not the deriving part, it's just setting up and just,
It's tests are so much easier than homework.
Yeah.
You have a practice
And,
test and it's
yeah.
basically the
Okay.
it's the, yeah. And if you happen to want some more practice tests, we can get that sorted. Okay, structures one. This is one of my favorite classes besides 251, but I'm also quite biased, but you guys have Dr. Peters still, right? It's I thought this class was cool because it's like one of the first classes where you're actually really doing something that's quite airplane specific, or like aerospace vehicle specific, rather than looking at something really microscopic. This takes like a much larger viewpoint. And you guys have any questions on this one? It's she goes through solid mechanics for the first half, I would say, and then
The class is like every other class you've seen at this point.
Yeah.
Her lectures are really, like, she's a really good lecturer.
she is.
She'll take an hour, 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
I know, she's awesome. And she's quite receptive in office hours as well.
Did y'all have 5 exams?
No. You guys,
So,
do-
and how many that was?
I just
We
finished
had
the homework, I was like, all right, I can't even turn this in, I was like, okay, never mind. Forgot homework's not.
I think we also, yeah, you don't have homework?
Or
That's-
we have homework, but it's not.
Okay, well, she's changed it a lot than from how she taught it last year, so our advice is probably, yeah, but if you can ask us questions as the semester goes on, that might be able to help more there. Structures lab, our experience was so much different from what you guys are gonna have, but
We have no.
yeah, we don't just, it's not, for us, it wasn't graded as hard as like the Aero lab.
We were also
His-
on YouTube, though.
Yeah, so I don't know. Some of the experiments looked really cool. I think you get play with composites, which,
Is it the same, like, format as like Aero One Lab?
no, no, no. Yeah, no, you
you
don't have to write lab reports like Aero One Lab, so
But you will be in the lab.
Cool,
yeah.
yeah.
It's
There's
not,
also, just if you're gonna take structures too, there's like a lab you do, is it structures too? There's one. lab
Yeah.
that got repeated.
Which one?
structures lab, I got repeated.
It was, oh, no, sorry, it's a controls lab. There's one lab you're gonna do that gets repeated, so like failure and stuff.
Is it one to do with like circuits and stuff? Okay, okay.
It's great.
Brian, I forgot telling me to use Overleaf for the Aero One Lab. I mean, it's so
Yeah,
hard.
yeah. That'll be the highlight of our spring
Context
advice.
For those who don't know, Overleaf is basically Word but better. So
Yeah, it handles the formatting for you.
It's kind of like coding a paper, which is weird. It's a weird concept, but there's so much resources out there that if you learn it, life becomes much easier.
Write
Much
your
easier.
resume in Overleaf. It makes the format
Yeah.
awesome and it looks so professional.
It's just so clean. It's sick. We can kind of just run, since I think there's only a couple of seniors. Anybody senior here? Okay, we'll run through these just so that you guys can get a preview of what's to come, what you should look forward to. So our fall semester, we're taking controls lab and controls, which
Yeah.
you'll take flight stability and control junior year spring most likely, and then this goes more into like the math side of it, I guess, and
Get 50Q back
You
out.
just,
yeah,
you wanna remember to do and vibrations, that's all it says.
yeah. Yeah, and then I guess like flight stab is sort of how it's applied. There's a third Aero lab, you get 3, I guess, plus structures lab, so 4 labs where you go to the lab. This one is apparently helpful for senior design. We're repeating one lab that we did already. I think that might be the propeller one. So
I
it's
wonder if
pretty,
it's because NAR's first time.
it very well could be. I don't know. It's just nice to do 3 labs. They're quite, you learn a lot. They're pretty practical. They're hands-on. I guess most of you will have your first lab in the spring. So
So the way this works, just so everyone's aware, Your first experimental aerodynamics one is in the subsonic wind tunnel, which we'll go tour. The second one is supposed to be in the supersonic wind tunnel. That has been moved, and from what I've heard, no one's allowed access anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you can't run it.
They're trying to, for
That's
those of
neat.
you who are juniors, he showed us the nozzle that they're trying to put in to like convert it to a supersonic, a section of
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I like went to him to do, because I wanted to do like some
Uh-huh.
like project research, something like that. And he was like showing me all his projects. I got this nozzle I want to look at. I'm like working with the propeller lab now. Like,
Yeah.
doing that. But he was like, I was like, dude, that's pretty cool. Like he was like kind of like sitting there. Like
It is. We'll see it. Yeah. It's pretty cool. These are like some elective type classes. I'm pretty sure Dr. G teaches boundary layer
I don't
theory.
think he does. Peter's
Maybe.
not- he's not-
Okay.
he's not Dr.
Well, either way, if you're quite interested in the aerodynamics side,
That's a good
this
class.
is one to consider. Propulsion, we're in it now. We mentioned earlier that chemistry and thermo are coming back, as well as Aero 2 concepts, so just pay attention to those, I guess. Senior design,
Do we want to run through how this works, basically? I mean, we have it tomorrow, but. Okay, I'll just run through this real quick. You
Yeah.
have basically 4 options for senior design: a fixed wing, a multi-rotor, which is a drone, and then there's 2 space. One is the NASA student launch, which is just a rocket.
it's through HPRC, if any of you guys are,
There's the CubeSat,
yeah.
which is new. And then I think there's another rocket one because
There might
NASA
be.
student launch is sort of separate. So the fixed wing, you can do one through the university or the design build fly, which is through the IAA. That's what I'm in charge of. And that's basically your options. It's a culmination of your entire undergraduate career. So yeah, just keep an eye out for that. 'cause there's a
Yeah.
lot-
Did you know the?
No, but I know the mechanical ones are usually company sponsored, which is different from ours.
They might do a Baja car.
Yeah, I think you can do through
So
Wolfpack Motorsports potentially.
That might be one. It's kind of like a club one.
Yeah. Also, I know a lot of Mechis that do the entrepreneurship one, so that's a semester long. The rest are usually like this is year long. So, but if you are interested in checking out some of these projects from last year, like one floor down, at all the labs, they have the signs of what all these teams did. So, anyways, MAE 495 classes are fantastic, especially if there's a professor you like. You should sign up for their 495 class. I'm in one now with Dr. Silverberg. That's pretty cool, but yeah. And then you can do research for credit if you wish. Here's some GEP suggestions if you want me to send you these, or it's on the recording. We can do that.
There's a few GPs that are pretty nice to take because then all you have to do is like blog post. You have to do like 10 a semester, 20 responses, and a paper at the end, but it's all asynchronous, so you can do it on your own pace, and it's really great. Try and find one of those. I can't remember what mine was, but there's a few out there like that. Those are great.
So I think that's it. Anybody have any questions? There was one thing I forgot to add. Oops, back to the sign up for when you're signing up for the labs, which a lot of you guys will do in the spring. It says it's a huge chunk of time. It's like 2.5 hours. You're only in there for 15 minutes to 20 minutes max. So if you have something going on then, and that's the only one you can get into, just do it and then email him and tell him to put you in like the earliest 20-minute block or something. So
It might take a little longer now, with UTAs and the new professor.
yeah, but it's,
You're not there for the full like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
It's blocked out for.
yeah. So yeah, thanks for coming to the school survival guide portion. Anybody have any questions? You guys looking forward to the classes to come? I think they're pretty, yeah, yes, this is probably pretty,
Kind of blew through those last few ones.
yeah.
Since no one's-
Wait, STS 302 is what?
Oh, gosh.
That's, I think that's ethics.
You can also
Yeah.
do, like a philosophy ethics, somehow has some humanities credit.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah,
You can.
you wanna
do
double up,
multiple
yeah.
GEPs for one class.
What does that help?
It'll tell you when you sign up. I don't know off the, I think this one might, global knowledge and interdisciplinary perspective. It'll tell you like quite specifically when you click on like the class and get the expanded view.
There's also a NC State webpage that has all of it broken down pretty well. That's pretty useful when you're signing for up for these. Also, if you can, it depends on how many hours you have. If you knock them out early, senior year's not that bad.
Yeah, these are good summer as well.
Right.
Cool. Well, if anybody wants to join us, we're gonna head down to the wind tunnel.
You guys want to head down, I'll stay back.
If
you don't
anyone
have any
came a
class.
little bit late, you want to get attendance, just type in that URL.
Yeah.
So you guys.
If you have any one-on-one class questions, I'll hang behind.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Ian.
We'll see you.
Yeah, we look,
Ian's a great guy.
Ian is.
Isn't he mechanical?
He is mechanical.